The Accountant is my favourite trailer of the year so far, but does the actual film live up to that? The Accountant is directed by Gavin O'Connor and stars Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick, j.k.simmons, Jon Bernthal, John Lithgow, lots and lots and lots of big names. If you wanted a film with big name actors in, this is your one. And it all is led by the brilliant Ben Affleck. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor, and he has directed films like Jane Got a Gun this year and also Warrior, both of which I haven't actually seen, so this is actually my first Gavin O'Connor film, but I know how well received Warrior was, and I haven't seen Jane Got a Gun, but I'm not really sure it did that well either way. So the plot of The Accountant is very complex, to the point where there's about 5 or 6 different stories all kind of intertwined into this big Ben Affleck is this autistic accountant. So let me try and give you a very, very brief, short summary of what the plot is. So Ben Affleck is this autistic person, and throughout his life he's struggled with different things, and he then becomes an accountant because he becomes really, really good at math. And also on the side, he's kind of like a weapons arms dealer. And he works with all these really infamous people and does loads of tax things and finds a way to avoid money. He's a really, really good mathematician, and he uses that to scam the system. He has loads of different pseudonyms, and the government is trying to track him down because pretty much he's going around working with terrorists and things. But you've got about 5 major stories that all intercut to make this one larger story. You've got Ben Affleck as his accountant, you've got Ben Affleck's childhood, you've got Anna Kendrick and this robotics situation, which also brings in the other character of John Lithgow. You've got Jon Bernthal's character, who's kind of like an assassin, sort of hitman squad. And then you've also got this police squad, which is J.K.Simmons and this other detective. And they all try and join in together to make this one big coherent plot. But the narrative is told in such an incoherent, convoluted way, it makes it really difficult to find any of the stories really impactful. Now, first things first, let's get this straight out of the way. Ben Affleck is just amazing in this role. It's one of Ben Affleck's best films in years. It's on par with his performance in Gone Girl. J.K.Simmons is fantastic. Anna Kendrick's fantastic. John Lithgow's fantastic. Jon Bernthal's fantastic. In fact, there wasn't really a cast member which was really letting the film down, because it wasn't the cast at all that was letting this film down. The story becomes that convoluted that no matter how good your cast is, because they were all really, really good, you can't make a film just on a good cast. You need a really good storyline. And the fact that it does contain 5 storylines, which all intertwine, and I'm not talking like, oh, here's one storyline, here's another storyline, here's one storyline, here's another storyline. I'm talking, here's one storyline, cut halfway through, there's another storyline, cut halfway through that, there's another storyline. We're jumping back and forward in time. We keep on switching to other character perspectives. We keep on learning things about that character. Do we really like that character? I'm not sure. Do we like that character? Wait, you're intrigued in that character? No, we're going on to another character now. There's that many characters and that many storylines, it's hard for me to keep track of what's actually going on. And that is a huge, huge issue in this film. And I mean a huge issue. There are parts when this film asks you to recall from things right at the beginning. For example, you will see a scene right near the beginning in which Ben Affleck and Jeffrey Tambor are in a prison, and you don't really understand the concept of what that scene was until around near the end of the film. You don't understand half the scenes in the film because they're all kind of referencing to things that are later on in the film. And I think it asks so much of you to recall these random scenes that it becomes really difficult to keep track of what's actually happening in the film. It's hard to be so concentrated on a film that you can suddenly be able to recall to something right at the beginning. The very first scene isn't explained until really near the end. And it's not just like one scene, it's multiple, scene after scene after scene. And I don't understand how the directors thought this was a really good idea. Because yes, I'm all down for different forms of telling stories and different narratives and kind of like a fragmented narrative. But there's a line, and this just becomes convoluted and difficult to follow. As I said, there is 5-ish different stories, maybe more, maybe less. It's hard for me to really class what is a story. But the thing is, not all of these are given enough screen time. This is already a 2-hour and 5-minute film, and I'm not saying it was a slog. By no means was it a slog. If anything, I want this film to be longer, because there were certain characters that I just didn't get enough screen time with. Most importantly, the detective. Now, this detective is working for J.K.Simmons to try and track down Ben Affleck's character. But the issue is, we see her for like 10 minutes, and she is a pivotal part of the film. She is basically the whole reason we're watching this film. She's a necessary part of this film. But the issue is, how am I supposed to attach to a character I only see for 10 minutes? You see her, and you have a couple of scenes with her, and you think, oh, she's going to be a big character in this film. And then she kind of just disappears. And that's not because they're wasting time on other things. That's because they've got so many other characters to set up. How am I supposed to care about John Lithgow's character if I don't see him grow? How am I supposed to care and like be fearful of Jon Bernthal's character if I don't see him grow? They have so many characters and so many storylines, it's hard to get character development for all of them. And so it fails. It genuinely does just fail. And that's it. You can't say anything else about it. The storyline can't work with a film this, I don't want to say short, but with the amount of stories it is, kind of is short, and it can't give that same impact if we don't know and attach to these characters. Yes, I was confused during the story, but it wasn't just that. I didn't have enough time to not be confused. You can't combine a film that has so many storylines, not show them enough, and then smash up the narrative as if it's not even there anymore. It becomes incredibly difficult to see what's actually happening and understand what's happening on screen. And for me, that is where the film fell the most, because not only does it have an amazing cast, it also has an amazing cinematography, it has an amazing portrayal of autism and what autism is for Ben Affleck's character. And even better than that, it has amazing action sequences which didn't feel out of place. If anything, they were a nice change from the slower aspects of the film. No part of me was bored in this film. Never has accounting been this exciting, but on the other hand, never has accounting been this confusing. Much alike real accounting, it's very, very difficult unless you know exactly what's happening. And unfortunately, I didn't know exactly what's happening. This film had so much potential and has so many good ideas, but given it another hour and had a lot more exploration of characters, or even taken away some of the characters, everything would have had a lot more impact. The action sequences would have just stood out as being amazing. Every character would have been amazing and the cast would have been praised even more. This could have been an Oscar-winning film, but it was just executed in the wrong way, and that's a big shame. I'm going to give The Accountant 3.5 stars out of 5. If you liked that review, make sure you stick right here on My Week in Media, because there is so many more reviews coming up this weekend. And if you liked that review, please stay right here on My Week in Media. We've got reviews for Ouija, Jack Reacher and Doctor Strange all on the back catalogue, as well as 13 podcasts here on YouTube. There's so much for you to go and enjoy, and there's so much for you to look forward to, especially on Halloween when there's a special video going up as well. We've got more reviews for you right coming up soon, so please stick right here. If you enjoyed that, please give me a like, please subscribe as well, and if you have seen The Accountant, please comment down below what you thought of it, because honestly, I really wanted to like it, but I just didn't like it as much as I could, which I'm pretty sure you've just gathered from my 3.5 star review. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dawson, this is My Week in Media, and stick right here for all the new release reviews. Convoluted.